And then Jesus became Jesus again. He said, you know, your faith is awesome. So you know what? I'm going to give you exactly what you want. And you go back, and from this very moment, your daughter is fine. And she did as she was. And I read that story, and it's like, geez, you never act like you say you are in that story. It seems out of character. You like ignore, and you slight, and you seem like you don't care. And yet here's this woman going, even though you don't seem like who I've heard you to believe up to this point, I'm going to keep on keeping on until you finally come through on my behalf. You know what she was doing? She was waiting on Jesus. She said, I'm going to keep pursuing and keep pursuing in spite of evidence that seems to make you appear like you're different than I always heard you to be. I'm going to just keep on keeping on. That's what it means to wait on God. Even though circumstances could lead me to believe that you're not so powerful or good or loving or involved or whatever, I'm going to hold on to the hope that you are, and I'm just going to keep obeying, and I'm going to keep serving, and I'm going to try to keep growing, and I'm going to do it because I hope somehow that eventually you're going to come through and show me what you had up your sleeve the whole time. That's waiting on God. That's what we're supposed to do in the dip of life. Now, how long are we supposed to wait? I don't know. A week? Month? Year? A decade? How long have you been waiting on stuff? And what's God finally going to do when the wait is over? I don't know that either. He might give you exactly what your heart desires, or he might give you something else. But that something else, when weighed against the backdrop of eternity, can only be better than the very thing you desire. But I have no idea what he's actually going to do. But when we are in the dip of life, what it means to forge ahead is saying, even with my doubts, even with my questions, even though right now the evidence seems to say you might not be all that good or loving and powerful, I'm going to hold on to the hope that that's what you are, and I'm going to keep growing, keep obeying, keep serving, until you finally show up and do something powerful for me. Wait on God. Now, you know what? We could look at this dip right here, and we can say, oh, actually, you know, check this verse out. This is found in 1 Peter chapter 4. So then, those who suffer according to God's will should commit themselves to their faithful Creator and continue to do good. Here's Peter simply saying, yeah, you know what, you got to wait on God. When you're suffering and it doesn't make sense, you commit yourself to God and you keep doing good in the hope that sooner or later He is going to come through. We could be tempted to think that what the dip of life is kind of a gauntlet that God makes us go through before He gives us the good stuff. You carry out God, go, I got some really good stuff for you, but you know, before I give it to you, I just need to see you suffer a little. And when I think you've suffered enough, and you've jumped through enough hoops, then you can finally get the good stuff. And that's how this could look. You know, I'm just hanging on, it's really hard until finally you break through and, you know, whatever. But as it turns out, there are things that happen in the dip that in and of themselves, irrespective of any good thing that may happen later, in and of themselves, make the dip worth going through. Here's why I say this. First, when we wait on God, we gain spiritual strength. Matter of fact, maybe we should write it this way. When we wait on God, we discover a brand new kind of strength. See, when you're in the dip, you get tired, don't you? You get emotionally tired, and you get spiritually tired, and you get relationally tired. You're just tired. And it's really hard to even do the basic stuff of life. And the easiest thing to do when we get really tired is say, you know what? When it comes to the whole serve God deal, When it comes to the whole, really be obedient deal, it's like I'm almost too tired to do that. So what I need to do is I need to just rest a while. I need a break, okay? And I need to kind of check out for a little while, because if I can just, just get through this and get strong again, then I can go back into like full obedience mode. When I finally get strong, I can go back into full serving mode. But right now I'm just too fatigued, man. I'm too tired. I'm too thin and too worn. That just seems like such a natural thing to do. But in the world of the Spirit, it doesn't work that way. Because in the world of the Spirit, we have to discover a different energy system beyond our own. And when we decide, when we're worn out and weary and tired because we're in the dip and we're frayed and we're worn, and it's like we feel like we have no strength left, but we say, what I'm going to do is I don't feel I can do it, but I'm going to just carry on. I'm going to keep serving. I'm going to keep obeying. I'm going to try to keep growing even though I feel totally wasted. When we do that, we discover a brand new strength beyond our own. That's why it says this in the book of Psalms, chapter 27 and verse 14. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he will what? He will strengthen your heart. So wait, I say, on the Lord. It's a different energy system that kicks in beyond ourselves. One that oftentimes you don't even know we had until we actually wait on God in the dips of life. I coach running. And one of the things we teach our athletes is, the normal way that your body creates energy and muscles is through the aerobic system. In other words, what's normal is that the oxygen that you breathe in, that goes into your lungs, into your bloodstream, into all the muscles of your body, that oxygen is used in a chemical combination to create energy so your muscles can move. That's the normal way that energy is made. But you can get to the place where you're exerting yourself physically and you can't suck in enough oxygen to make energy. You can't do it. You're in oxygen debt. But here's what's fascinating. Once you get there, you discover there's another energy system that God put in your body. It's called the anaerobic energy system, the without oxygen. It turns out when you get to that place where you can't suck in enough air to create the energy, that your body switches to a different system that creates energy in the muscles so that you can go farther and you can go faster than you ever could with the normal system. And any athlete that has ever won anything, that's been victorious, that has excelled in his or her chosen sport, is one who knows that while you got the normal system, the winners are the ones who tap into that other system, even though it might be painful, because that other system is what propels them to victory. And it's almost like this. God says, you know what? On your own strength, you can actually do it all. Did you know that? You actually can. But if we want to excel for God, if we want the life of our dreams because we're sharing God's dreams, if we want to live a, what do you want to call it, victorious life, successful life, abundant life, good life, it requires an energy beyond us. And we have to learn how to tap into that and discover a brand new energy. And that's what happens when we wait on God. He gives us a strength beyond our own to do things we thought we were incapable of doing before things started. And we learn that when we wait on God in the dip of life.